got back from the gym. Another banger podcast recommendation. I think last week there was a podcast that I recommended in my newsletter. Check it out. Should be linked below in the description. I think the one he did like a year ago is, that's the one I'm listening to right now. That one's even better than the one he did 2 weeks ago, at least to me, and just lots of really insightful gems and such. I think one big takeaway this week, this idea of an oak, right? An oak, an acorn. You look at a baby and you look at an elderly person. Both have value, right, in different ways. And an oak tree, and a massive oak tree, and an acorn both have value. And this idea of working to become, I want to become a full-time musician with creative and financial freedom and not have to work a job, just be fully, independently, sustainably, entrepreneurially sufficient, getting to this place. And I think that, there is no there. My new song, Holding On, just came out. Pushing it fucking heavy, I'm posting 3 times a day, every day for the last 2 weeks. Pretty much every single post has the song in it. On YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, short form. Pitching it to playlists. I'm like looking at the numbers every day. I'm checking like probably fucking 20 times a day. As if, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get to 1,000 streams. You don't get compensated until you hit 1,000. And then when you get 1,000 streams, it's like $5. Which is nice because I have 100% on that song. I hit 1,000 streams today. I woke up and I was like, and there's like this little moment of dopamine. We hit this fucking metric. And then what? And then it was like, okay, well, it's either like, all right, well, 5K, 10K, let's hit 10K. And those are fun, but like it never ends. It's the same with money. It's the same with everything. Like, you look at the acorn, you do what's in your control, you work hard, you show up, and you hope that you become that oak tree and you enjoy life. Gratitude is massive. Joe Hudson on his podcast, Art of Accomplishment, and also on his YouTube channel. That's actually what I linked in the newsletter, but I think I'll link both probably. Also on my Substack. I post every newsletter on my Substack, so check that out. It should be in the link beneath if you aren't signed up for my newsletter already. But sign up so you get next week's, because it's full of gems every week, like what I'm finding out throughout the week. But he was doing this coaching session essentially with this guy, and my girlfriend walked in, and then I lost my train of thought. And then I ate, so time has passed. But I recommend watching it if you've ever struggled with feelings of worthiness associated with money. And I think a lot of us are working hard in some ways, not entirely, but to fill this hole, And it's like this perceived hole, instead of just being like, no, I am like the oak. Or I'm like the acorn. I am worthy. I am like, someone hands you a baby, you don't go, not worthy. Like, you're not valuable. And it's just conditioning, throughout life. And that was a great takeaway. The importance of knowing your own worth and value, and seeing your own value, and knowing that you are intrinsically unique, and you don't need to be perceived as such, or you don't have a need to be perceived as good, or Another one is just the benefits of just working out. I feel like that's just been incredibly beneficial. Did some meal prepping on Sunday. Got like a couple pounds of ground beef and made some rice, and got some organic canned corn and some beans and some cilantro, and chopped it all up and put it in a bowl and like meal prep for the week. Just like easy. I don't think there's a human on earth that does not have stress at times, but it's really about how you react to that. And coming back to, what can I control? What can I do about it? And how can I change my state, my mood? And then, come back to gratitude is like really, really feeling the appreciation for all the things that you have around you, which is one of the tips of practical, actionable things. Not to judge whether or not you're doing that right. I think that's something people struggle with meditation. Is like, I'm not doing it right. It's not working. This idea of doing the thing right gets in the way of doing the thing. That's the case with music. It's the case with a lot of things. You're either doing it or you're not. You're not about to do it. You're not kind of doing it, Let's get a thumbnail real quick. There's not an agenda or thought process. Since the lamp has ended, there's been a lot of times where I felt down. And then there's been a ton of moments of just like, oh yeah, let's go. Fuck it. Whether it's people putting songs out. Go listen to Selfish by Katrina Florence. Just came out this past week. People hitting me up out of nowhere being like, yeah, we're putting a song out, I think also part of that is being proactive and hitting people up. doing sessions, stuff like that. I think for a long time I struggled with this belief of, oh, no one wants to work with me. If they did, they'd hit me up. Get the fuck out of your way. Reach out. Be a little humble, you know. Reach out to people you want to work with. If it happens, like, if people want to work with you, then they will. Sometimes people are just waiting till people hit them up, thinking the same shit. We did a trial at a restaurant on Saturday, stage, and we accepted an offer at a restaurant, but it's not open. I think it opens in hopefully May, so I don't know. That's a little worry about, but I think I'm gonna sell the sauna that I won on Let's Make a Deal, and that'll get me through this month. And gratitude, and you know, it's not even getting better every day, because that implies like lack. Being in the present, being the best I can be moment to moment. You know, not worrying about the future or the past. And you know, I think the way gets revealed through action. There's something I think I shared in my story today. It was like these two competing truths. He who is most prepared typically wins. Preparation is not as valuable as action. It's so funny. I want to default to be like, I probably said in the last 17 of these, 16 is like, getting better, keep going, like, just be, you know, just be. And come back to service and giving and purpose and clarity through action. Not to get anywhere. There's nowhere to get. There's no there. There's only here. With that, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Definitely check out those recs in the description /newsletter, Substack. If they're not below, they'll be in the Substack /newsletter. Sign up. Listen to Holding On. Out now. All right. Till next time. Peace. Keep going.